On the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. There is this weird movement that's happening. I'm anyway seeing control of the narrative is being lost on many, many levels by the deep state. They're just losing all sorts of opportunities. This Paramount Skydance merger probably going to be in line with that as well. We've got people freaking out. Of course, Pocahontas is one of the people talking about it. And what it represents is their inability to control the narrative. Twitter, when Musk took that away, that screwed them up in a big way. Now they've got that, Blue Sky or whatever the hell it's called. But that's stupid, right? Nobody's really paying attention. We've got MSDNC, or MS Now it's called, just totally stepped on a landmine. It was probably a leak find, like fix a flat, if you will. I think we isolated where that leak was coming from, and they flooded some bad info, and they stepped on the trap. We're having kind of the same problem in Ukraine right now. This peace proposal is hated by Europe and hated by Ukraine, or Zelensky, I should say. But everybody else, oh, wait, I'm sorry, and there's a couple horrible rhinos that are popping out and pissed off about it, yet not worried about the right things. J.D. Vance kind of puts them in place. We've got a lot of things to cover today. I think you'll find it's a pretty good show. Also got one more little small Scott Bessent section where he's kind of clearing the record on something. Again, I don't know why I like the guy so much, but he's cool as hell. And so it's I wanted to give him like the minute and a half or whatever it requires to get us there. I also, really quick before we get going, wanted to remind everybody out there, I got a bitchin' music show put together. I recorded the music yesterday. There was parts where I was literally tearing up, man. It is good. It's songs about thanks and love and being thankful for each other and that kind of stuff, like that concept, because, Thanksgiving. I thought it was kind of fun. And I just found some really cool songs. I'll bet you money, a chunk of these songs you've never heard maybe, but when you hear them, you'll be like, that's just an awesome song. Yeah, that's what happened to me. It was awesome. I was stoked when I found them. And then when I actually record them, I kind of go through the process. There's other ways to do that, but anyway, that's the way I do it, right? Part of the experience, part of kind of knowing what's going to be like when I do Friday's show. So it's like my run through, if you will. And man, this is going to be a good show. So if you guys, don't have anything going on at 3 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Eastern on Friday, I'm going to be doing a live show for a little over an hour, playing some music. I've got some really cool people that hang out in the chat. You might get to know some of them. So please join. For those of you that may be off on your vacation, I've got some really, really cool music. And this is definitely one of those shows where you want to have your sweet somebody with you, whoever that is. Male, female, doesn't matter. Have that special person nearby if you can. If not, have them in your heart because you're going to love it. And even for those of us that, well, not us, but, some that are single out there even, remember good loves you've had in the past. Remember some of the happier moments. Remember some of those times. And, it's going to be a fun show. I think you guys will enjoy it. All right, let's get the ball rolling here. Pocahontas, a.k.a. Elizabeth Warren. Not nearly as much fun that way. Democrats panic as this Warner Brothers sale threatens to end the CNN's liberal media cartel. And it's true. And here's the skinny of it, right? We'll just get to the fun part. So it's HBO, CNN, CBS News, Showtime, TBS, Comedy Central, TNT, Paramount, TLC, HGTV, Nickelodeon, CBS Sports, Food Network, Discovery Channel, the CW Network, BET, MTV, VH1, and some more. All of those would fall under a conservative individual if this happens to go through. This Paramount Skydance is led by CEO David Ellison and is backed by his father, Oracle co-founder, and prominent Trump ally, Larry Ellison. Big money involved in this, and certainly big money as far as the government and what's going on with the future. Oracle probably being a strong back end of that. Their databases are pretty incredible. They also have some other decent stuff. But this would be a loss of the ability of the deep state to seed false narratives. Something else that's kind of a false narrative. And again, I point this out mostly, I covered this story, and I think I covered it decently. I'm proud of how I covered it. But I think that when they had like a 94% match on the gate of the individual with this software, I think it was Blaze that came out with this, they ended up being wrong. The lady that they claimed was the individual that the pipe bomber is, and a lot of you guys might still believe it was the lady, I forget her name. It wasn't her. She actually has proof that she was busy playing with her dogs at that time that these things were happening. So, and they only had a 94%. Well, that's not even that accurate, really. I mean, especially with a gate thing where it's someone specific that injured. So whatever the case is, I'm pretty sure that the FBI knows exactly who this individual is. I don't believe that they don't for a second. But the fact that Blaze went out there and really did essentially accuse somebody of being something that they weren't without a whole lot of evidence. Again, they weren't right. They were wrong. A lot of us have this under our mind that we're always right because we're conspiracy theorists and, oh my God, all the conspiracies are right. No, they're not. We've definitely got some of them that aren't. And there's a lot of misinformation that's being intentionally put out there right now that many people are just loving and glomming onto. Again, I call it information chaff. It keeps people busy. It is what it is. I'm surprised how well they're thinning our ranks, really, to be honest with you. It's a little disappointing, but it's part of this process, I guess. I guess maybe God knows what the hell's going on, but yeah, I was expecting more. Trump, this is how he's fighting the cost of things, insurance costs and healthcare costs and all that stuff. He's hitting it from a lot of different angles rather than like the standard approach by government, which is, just throw more money in it. Trump's actually hitting it from a lot of angles. He's got 15, I guess, different drugs now, major ones like Ozempic and stuff like that they're actually selling for significantly less. And it's pretty cool that Trump's doing this.
Mr. President, are you planning to unveil a health care plan anytime soon?
Well, we're looking at different alternatives. I mean, I like my plan the best. Don't give any money to the insurance companies. Give it to the people directly. Let them go out and buy their own health care plan. And we're looking at that. If that can work, we're looking at that. That's sort of taken off. That's what I like. Don't give the money to the insurance companies. They go out and buy their own plan. You give the money to the people. I like it the best.
Are you planning to extend those subsidies?
I'd rather not. Somebody said I want to extend them for 2 years. I don't want to extend them for 2 years. I'd rather not extend them at all.
Will you do it?
It may be some kind of an extension may be necessary to get something else done because the Unaffordable Care Act has been a disaster. It's a disaster. And I said it was when it first got put in. Unfortunately, we lost a couple of Republican votes and the Democrats voted for it. It's a Democrat plan. And the premiums are going up. And it's the Democrats' fault. But, they are negotiating with me. It's very interesting. They want to see something happen.
Who are you talking to?
I can't tell you who, but we have a lot of Democrats want this plan to happen. They would love to see the money go to the people and the people go out and get their own health care. And there would be nothing like it.
Yeah, they definitely are going to be on board with this. Now, again, asking who, that's not fair. That's not fair to the people that are actually talking to him in good faith, too. But this is certainly one of the ways you get the prices down. And Antifa whistleblowers talking about how they call you fascists so they can kill you. This has to do really with the overall overarching war that they've declared against us. Now, they don't have the control networks they used to. They don't have control of the FBI anymore, so we're now nabbing a lot of their conversations that they think are secret. One of the funnest things ever is whenever anybody tells you that something is specifically for a certain thing, like protecting you from it. Example, Signal. It's specifically meant to have encrypted traffic that nobody can get. Okay, I guarantee you they can read that easily. Guarantee you. Number of ways it can happen. I'm not going to waste time, but whenever they sell you on something, it's just so they can get an overwhelming number of people in the criminal network over there. A lot what's going on with crypto, frankly. A lot of it was to be able to find the illegal movements of money. There's a permanent record. I mean, it's one of those things. Again, I'm not going to argue for or against it. It's, if you use and trade, silver coins, gold coins, seashells, Bitcoin, I mean, I frankly don't care. I really don't. If it's something you want and someone's willing to trade you some skis for a lawnmower, we used to call that, we had a swap and shop show on my first paid radio station. It was pretty awesome. Swap and shop. Literally, people would call, I got a rifle and I need a lawnmower. Is there anyone that would be willing? And yeah, stuff like that would happen. It was cool. It was one of the funnest things I actually got to do on that shit little station. It was a good time, though. WLOD. Loudon, Tennessee. Yeah, they got bought by somebody else eons later, and that dude I worked for him for a while. I don't know if I doubt he still got it. He's probably dead from a heart attack, most likely. Dude was a big dude. Whatever the case. Side note. They have this war going against us. Now, for the most part, they haven't been able to get us as fired up, but they certainly are pushing it from the race standpoint, from the religion standpoint, like everything, like abortion. Like there's so many little like trigger buttons that they've been trying to get us fired up for. Charlie Kirk was obviously a big one. That was actually meant to demoralize us, and it didn't work the way they hoped. They obviously failed with Trump. So, yeah. There is suspicion that they might try it again. I don't believe they're going to be able to. I think our power is significantly stronger than they realize. All of these things said, though, they are expecting and planning to get people riled up over something. And there's a lot of very easy, just one MK Ultra type person. And again, it's not called MK Ultra anymore. I don't know what the hell they actually call it now. There's people that have suspected newer names, but those probably aren't even legitimate anymore. Whatever it's actually called, I doubt we actually know. Whatever the case is, they're still programming us. They do it through the flicker rates. They do it through the TV programming. They do it through the feeds that you get in some, well, certainly things like Meta and probably even X, probably. Because the way it wires us, they're literally going after time spent on the platform. So they're trying to get you to spend more time on the platform. That's what all of them are trying to do. In most cases, a lot of us are wired to where certain things cause us to want to get more involved, get fired up, whatever. And so once they figure that out, they just keep giving you more and more of that. And that just starts to fuck with your mind, fucks with your wiring, it gets you, well, it programs you. Anything you do multiple times to the point where then it becomes habitual and you're doing it on autopilot now, you're now programmed. And you don't realize like certain flashing lights will get you like, hey. And yeah. They're doing a good job. Yeah. We're winning. We're winning, but we're taking losses. People don't realize it. People don't see it. So many people that have gotten taken out by information chaff. America's largest teachers union, they're doubling down on this crazy progressive, weird sex stuff, all this crazy shit, right? They're doubling down on it. This teachers unions are the ones that really, the sad part is a lot of teachers that don't agree with this are afraid to say anything because they get shunned. And I think this is one of those things where a lot of us have to start taking back our local areas. So is it your local chapter? Is it your local HOA? Is it your local city council? Like we all got to get back into that, start building it outward, and essentially meet Trump, who's trying to bring it down to us. He can't do it all. We've got to play a huge part in this. So we've got literally the teachers' unions that are trying to continue down on this communistic, progressive, whatever path that they've been on. Our test scores are the worst they've ever been. They are not, they've literally lowered standards. We've got many, many schools across this great nation that literally passed 0 students that were proficient in arithmetic or reading. Literally hundreds of schools that people couldn't do math or reading at a proficient level. And still we've got these teachers running around talking about how they're doing this, that, and the other thing. We've got these teachers' unions that are controlling them. This is outrageous to me. Outrageous. These are the things that have to change. We need people that are courageous, people that'll stand up, people that'll maybe find a couple people before you stand up, but even though you're going to go against, even though you're going to lose your family sometimes in the process, doing what's right is not usually the easy thing to do. It almost never is. In fact, I would honestly say it never is. But that's always a dangerous statement, right? So almost never. CPB, they got a giant meth shipment. Yeah, Breaking Bad, they took it down. They got the blue stuff. Just kidding, it wasn't actually blue, I don't think. But $10.3 million worth of methamphetamine. They said suspected. I don't know if they've tested it. Maybe it was something else. Who knows? But they got it. 1,153 pounds hidden inside commercial shipment of lettuce. Well, there's some lettuce you want. I don't know why I got so much energy after I had that salad. Wow, it's crazy. Georgia, they've dropped the case against Trump. It's kind of interesting. This guy does a decent job. And by the way, maybe she's on vacation. I just find it very interesting that for about a week now, my lovely friend Alice Tang is no longer broadcasting. I said too many nice things about her. Every time I'd say something nice, she'd stop. I know it's not true, but it is a funny coincidence. Maybe she's on vacation, I hope. And then she's going to come back with that metallic eyeshadow and wearing that maroon top. We'll see. I'm waiting for you, Alice. I'm here for you, baby.
Breaking just now, a major legal victory for President Trump. A Georgia prosecutor is dropping the election interference racketeering case against Trump and his allies. Fulton County Superior Court Judge Scott McAfee officially dismissed the case today. Peter Skandalakis is director of the Prosecuting Attorneys Council of Georgia. He decided to drop all remaining charges. He wrote in a court filing that it would not serve the interests of justice to keep prosecuting. Skandalakis assigned the case to himself earlier this month. He was unable to find another prosecutor willing to take it on. Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis launched the case back in 2023. She alleged that Trump and his allies attempted to overturn the 2020 election results in Georgia. A Georgia court later disqualified Willis from prosecuting the case.
One thing that bugs me a little, and I'm just going to say this is one of my little strange pet peeves, because I don't ever get names right, you guys know that, but the one place where I'm sure is the difference between Mick and Mac. Obviously, I have family. We got McDonald's in the family. Mick and Mac are different. It's not McDonald's restaurant, obviously, though many people pronounce it that way. It's MC Donald's. MC is Mick. It's always been, always will be, always should be. Don't care if that's your last name and you mispronounce it. That's fine. That's okay. And MAC is Mac. So this is McAfee, not McAfee, even though everyone says McAfee. It's McAfee. Pisses me off. Again, it's just words. Mac is Mac. All right, moving on. But it's still a good story, though. Mob takes over New York City neighborhood, beats a couple, sets her car on fire. This is a weird thing that happened in the neighborhood out there. This guy tried to park his car. It was a company car in the intersection to try to stop them from doing donuts, I guess, in front of their houses. As soon as he did that, everyone started leaving, and then two individuals go up to the car, somehow threw some sort of firework inside, caught it on fire. The response to this incident was less than ideal. Residents reporting the incident to 911 were told that Quality of Life team and 311 should handle the situation. Unacceptable. In fact, these violent street takeovers should be met with maximum force by the police department. We have never had these problems before. Now, it's an epidemic. What changed? We stopped arresting criminals. Continues. Mamdani taps 400 different people for this mayoral transition team. Oddly, 17 transition teams. That's always fun. Apparently, that's about 400 people. Strikes me as a lot of people, but it's a big city, right? I assume it's difficult. And I'm sure that pasty white guy that Mamdani's got working for him, that's a total deep state thug. I don't know what his name is, but he's probably helping. Soros-driven people. Federal court's going to review California's new congressional maps. They're going to be seeing this oral arguments on December 15th, which is pretty fantastic. So we'll be hearing about this. This has to do with that Proposition 50 that overwhelmingly passed. But again, mail-in ballots. We'll get this stuff fixed, but we've got to get our elections taken care of because I don't think most people were for this. I mean, there were definitely some that were just like, oh, damn Texas. And everyone's like also saying, by the way, this is funny in here, that this is going to change the outcome of the next election. They got 5. Texas gets 5. They actually do a real census and don't count illegals, which is happening next. California's losing all sorts of seats, dude. We've lost so many people in this state that were legal. Rep. Ilhan Omar says more Democrats, I should say, are defending all these Somali migrants, even though there's all these allegations of fraud in massive census. And we look at a lot of these numbers. The SNAP numbers were out of control. Also, the, autism has gone out of control in Minnesota since this huge Somali population started showing up. Isn't that interesting? So, of course, Rep. Ilhan Omar is praising her people for what they've been accomplishing and doing. Got a video, Minnesota judge overturning a guilty verdict in a $7 million taxpayer fraud case. This is weird. This judge in Hennepin County, Minnesota, overturned a guilty plea. The jury said they were guilty. This judge is like, nah, not only do I not agree with them, I'm going to overturn their entire case. This man was accused of stealing $7.2 million from taxpayers. Abdi Fattah Yusuf was running a home health care company called Promise Health from a mailbox. He and his wife, Lul Ahmed, were later charged with stealing the money via Medicaid overbilling in Minnesota. This lady. This is the judge. She's a ginger. Whatever the case is. Disgusting what's going on in Minnesota. We're getting to the bottom of it. We are. But, it's happening slowly but surely. A lot of us have this funny problem. We have insulin resistance. A lot of people that are overweight. If you're overweight by 10 pounds, you definitely want to listen to this. If you're actually diabetic, pre-diabetic, or worried that you're heading in that direction, you want to listen to this. This is a product that it's awesome. It is amazing what it's accomplishing. It's kind of a one-of-a-kind product. These guys do have some other really cool products, but this product itself is just the rock star product. It is helping people with their cravings, certainly overeating. It's helping the way you process carbohydrates because our bodies have gotten weird because of this insulin resistance, because we're constantly spiking and not, eating bad foods, overly processed foods, and it really messes with our bodies because our bodies can't really process them, but it acts like it's a carb, but it's not really a carb. And so your body's trying to deal with it as a carb, and it still doesn't digest, and now you've just screwed your insulin response. So it does this weird thing to our body that kind of causes us to become resistant to certain kinds of foods when it needs to be pumping insulin, when you're eating bread or rice or something like a legitimate carbohydrate, not these weird, heavily processed, effed up Cheetos and shit like that, which are delicious, but people got fatty liver, they got diabetes, they got PCOS, ED, I don't know. The dysfunctions. Gut health issues, cholesterol, triglyceride issues, fatigue, depression, systemic inflammation, and metabolic syndrome where you can't really get your metabolism up, so you can't seem to burn off the calories no matter what, and you start doing the math, and you're like, the only way I'll ever lose weight is if I starve myself for 14 years. That's not true. And there's an easy way to fix that. This product, which you want to go to otfspecial.com. It's called Feel Great. There's a Unimate, which they call it Unimate, but it's got yerba mate in it, and so therefore, in my mind, it's Unimate, and I just think it sounds so much cooler, like Hakuna Matata, like it's Unimate. We've also got Balance is the other one. So if you're somebody that's wanting to try to keep yourself from eating and keeping more of the healthier side, maybe you're more on the diabetic, the Balance, you might want to get 2 boxes of those and 1 box of the Unimate. If you're somebody that's just kind of steadily trying to lose weight, 2 boxes of the Unimate, and then you do the 1 box of the Balance. And the reason is you do 2 of these a day and then 1 of the Balance, or 2 Balance a day and 1 of these. These kind of give you energy. They help with cravings. They just kind of help get some good, helps your body process carbs differently. It helps you stay in ketosis longer, so you continue to burn calories longer. It just kind of helps that process. And then the Balance actually helps the way you process the carbs too. It also gives you some fiber to make you feel a little more full. It's amazing. I'm going to play like a minute-long video that talks about it, but you want to go to otfspecial.com. There's a 5-minute video there, and I would highly recommend you guys watch this video. It's super cool, and it teaches you all about it. And that's really going to be the thing that is going to help you be like, yeah, this is right for me. Personally, lemon is awesome. It reminds me of the Crystal Light iced tea with lemon that they used to have. If you guys ever tried that one, that fake, I mean, it's not fake, but that's what it tastes like. It tastes just like that. The lemon flavor. They've got some other flavors. So, buyer beware. But nonetheless, that one's super good, and that's what it kind of tastes like. I love it. That said, OTFSpecial.com, OTFSpecial.com. Check out this video.
If you're constantly battling low energy, cravings, weight control, watching your health slip away, listen up. There's a simple daily protocol they don't want you to know about that's helping people ditch their meds and reclaim their health. Up to 88% of Americans potentially suffer from some degree of insulin resistance. The Feel Great protocol is a simple 2-step daily system designed to help your body work with you, not against you. Step 1. Unimate, a powerful yerba mate extract clinically shown to boost mood, increase mental clarity, and support fat burning. Step 2. A patented fiber matrix called Balance. Taken before meals, it helps regulate blood sugar, curb cravings, and support healthy insulin response. That's it. No crazy diets, no meds. Just science-backed support your body actually understands. Feel Great is perfect for you if you have low energy, weight control, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, poor sleep, diabetes, snacking, sugar cravings, gut health, systemic inflammation. This isn't a trend, it's a transformation. Start today to reclaim your health with the Feel Great protocol.
Dude, people are seeing their A1C numbers dropping after taking this for not long. I mean, it starts kind of immediately. It starts to already affect your body. They're seeing changing of the numbers within one cycle. I think you guys get tested, every 3 months or something like that? Some of you got daily, blood monitoring. But, yeah, it's powerful. OTFSpecial.com, OTFSpecial.com. Definitely check it out. You're going to see the health benefits and really appreciate the fact that you're getting off some of your meds, most likely. Let it happen. I'm not trying to make promises. Stay on everything. You don't just stop taking. Let it work. It's not a drug, but it will help your body turn things back on that haven't been, and you'll be shocked. Swallowwell files a lawsuit against the housing officials over their criminal referrals. He actually feels that it was illegal for them to be able to look at this information and then turn him in. I don't know. Who knows if that's actually going to be true? But yeah, Adam Schiff, Letitz James, Lisa Cook, a few of these people have the same problem. And this is the direction they're kind of going at it from right now. Donald Trump was on Air Force One and talking about James Comey holding off on his victory lap.
Are you planning to replace Kash Patel as a
No, he's doing a good job.
This week,
Cash Patel? No, he's doing a great job, I think.
this week we saw those cases against James Comey and Letitia James tossed out. Do you still have faith in Lindsay Halligan?
Oh, she's great. I think she's great. They got out on a technicality, and you'll see what happens from here on. But if you look at the actual charges, I think anybody that looks at it very fairly would say, boy, are they guilty. So let's see what happens over the next week. The court didn't say you couldn't bring the case, re-bring the case, or appeal the case. So they have a lot of options. They're going to call the shot. I'm not calling the shot. But Lindsay's a very talented lawyer, actually.
So Trump's got the back of a few people, and we'll certainly get to the Kash Patel thing here in a little bit. But yeah, that's also very relevant because that was, I think, again, fix-a-flat, leak control, right? Like trying to figure out where the leak is, right? Sometimes you'll put like soap on the outside of something that maybe is leaking, and then you can see where bubbles are being formed, right? There's some different options. Biden airport betrayal bombshell. This is, freaking a lot of people out, to be honest.
Biden administration allegedly pressured airports to house migrants despite warnings it could compromise safety and put travelers at risk. That according to a new bombshell Senate report that says the Biden administration directed federal agencies to find airport facilities that could be used as shelters or migrant processing facilities. At least 11 airports were allegedly asked to find space, including Chicago's O'Hare and JFK here in New York. All right.
Gross, right? I mean, they literally just had gobs of people in these areas inside these airports. Just hundreds of people. Hundreds of people. It's certainly not safe. These people are flying around without any sort of ID, any sort of verification of who they are. A lot of problems are coming out around the Biden administration. HUD launches a hotline to crack down on crime, illegal immigrants, and public housing. If you're aware of it, If you're aware of people where there's public housing and you got people that are taking advantage of those things that should go to others, like veterans and or others that are homeless and other things, the hotline's 1-800-347-3735. It's 1-800-347-3735. If you know of anything, see anything, go ahead and say something. You know it's going to be helpful. Too bad you don't have payphones like we used to in the good old days when you could go make a call to, something like that, because 800 numbers always get the information. That's part of the thing that comes with 800 numbers. It's kind of weird. DOJ cracks down on healthcare fraud in Michigan. They're charging 3 people who stole $20 million total. I wonder if they're going to be able to find a judge that'll drop this sentence once the jury says, yeah, they're guilty. Fuck yeah, we want that money back. And the judge will be like, yep, I see where you're saying that, and I'm going to go ahead and disagree with you guys. We'll see if they do that. Hopefully they don't. It's been revealed that a nonprofit linked to George Soros has been fomenting some sedition within the country. Let's check this little article out here.
I'm Senator Alyssa Slotkin.
Senator Mark Kelly.
Representative Chris DeLuzio.
Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander.
Representative Chrissy Houlihan.
Congressman Jason Crow. I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy.
Former paratrooper and Army Ranger.
Former intelligence officer.
Former Air Force.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
and the intelligence community
who take risks each day
to keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk.
This administration is pitting our uniformed military
and intelligence community professionals
against American citizens. Like us, you all swore an oath
to protect and defend this Constitution.
And right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad,
but from right here at home. Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law
or our Constitution.
We know this is hard and that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
the Army,
or Navy,
the Air Force,
your vigilance is critical.
And know that we have your back.
Because now, more than ever,
the American people need you.
We need you to stand up for our laws,
our Constitution,
and who we are as Americans. Don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't give up the ship.
Don't give up the ship. But we got over here that these people bought this, I think, like a week before, or roughly that same week. But the National Lawyers Guild Military Law Task Force, they said DOD instruction 1325.06 permits a service member to possess a single copy of this document. Facts on refusing illegal orders, version 2, released November 11, 2025. Military Law Task Force. So they've been trying to push this, and they're spending Soros money. This is actually being pushed from outside as a color revolution on the inside. Now, again, they're getting closer and closer to identifying who these people are, how they stop them, how does that work? I mean, again, a lot of it's going to come to our ripples getting enough attention brought up so people get upset about the fact that this is actually happening versus the chunk of people politically that love that this is happening. We've got a bit of a problem in our country right now. And so, yeah, we're working through it, right? But how and where and what is always the question. Now, this is one of the things I'm wondering if they're going to use to try to spark riots because it worked the first time. This Derek Chauvin guy, one of the biggest things that had to do with him going to jail was the fact that police officials said that it wasn't true that the training manual suggested that holding the knee on the back of on their back to kind of keep them to the ground. And frankly, it's a good way to put a great deal of weight on a part of the body. It just from a physics standpoint, you're putting a large amount of your body weight onto one single point at a place where it's extremely difficult for an individual to be strong enough to be able to push off the ground. It's just a good technique if you're holding someone by yourself. Well, the problem is there's over 50 cops that actually say this was taught to them. This one knee restraint or this knee restraint technique was taught to them. They lied when Chauvin's case. And so Chauvin might be able to get out. And that maybe they might be able to get something going, probably with Antifa. I don't think BLM's I don't think they would. I don't think they would over that. Antifa would. So I don't know. I wonder if that's one of the things they might get a riot out of. We'll see. They're still trying. DOJ renews bid to have the courts unseal the Epstein-Maxwell grand jury materials. They renewed this request on November 24th to unseal the grand jury materials related to the case of deceased convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein and his accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, following the passage of the Epstein Files Transparency Act last week. All of that saying the judge needs to relook at this. This is a Southern District of New York judge. But they say because of this Epstein Files Transparency Act, which President Trump signed into law on the 19th, reflects the congressional intent to override grand jury secrecy. So, quote, in light of the act's clear mandate, the court should authorize the Department of Justice to release the grand jury transcripts and exhibits and modify any pre-existing protective order that would otherwise prevent public disclosure by the government of materials of which is required by the act. We'll see what comes from that. We'll see how it plays out. House Judiciary Chair Jordan asked Bondi for records on Biden's DOJ's ties to the liberal nonprofit, the SPLC, which is the Southern Poverty Law Center. The committee is continuing to investigate the Biden-Harris Department of Justice's and Federal Bureau of Investigation's weaponization of federal law enforcement resources against conservative Americans. Jordan wrote this. He said the extent of the SPLC's influence over our nation's federal law enforcement during the Biden-Harris administration is deeply concerning, and we respectfully request additional information on this matter. We'll see what we get. I'm sure we'll hear about it. Emails show Smith's team, good old Jack Smith, that his teams made a lot of errors in drafting subpoenas for the GOP senators' phone records. They actually got one of the people's names wrong. The Republican Senator Tim Scott, instead of Rick Scott, they literally kept referring to him as the wrong dude. It's not even the right guy. Number of weird things happened in those documents. By the way, Boasberg's tied up in that with the FISA agreements. And so, again, there's a lot of interesting stuff that's coming to the surface. How it's being presented, a lot of the true information can't really honestly come forward, or shouldn't, because it would affect the case, right? So I think a lot of us are speculating all over the place, right, wrong, and different. So the answers are coming. DOJ tells Judge Boasberg no contempt action is warranted, also saying the ACLU has no role in this. There's this furtherance that they're trying to say that Trump's administration is negligent or criminally negligent, and the ACLU is still a part of this, and they're basically saying, what are they? They don't need to be here. This has to do with us in the court and proceedings in that regard. Has nothing to do with them, the litigants. They have no standing in this whatsoever, no business being a part of this. So Boasberg's getting called out in a few different places, and basically Trump's administration's response to Boasberg in regards to their criminal, what are they calling it? Trump did not violate the court's order in arguing no further action is justified. Criminal contempt is what they're trying to call it. This is what Boasberg's trying to call it. So Trump's people are basically saying, look, this court has directed these parties to propose next steps for its inquiry into potential referral for criminal contempt. Defendants respectfully submit that no further steps are warranted, as defendants have previously explained and reiterated below, and as Judge Katsas agreed in his concurring opinion on appeal, defendants did not violate this court's order. Defendants stand by the legal position. Their interpretation of the court's order is correct, and at a minimum, their interpretation is reasonable and therefore not grounds for contempt. Insofar as this court continues to disagree, defendants identify below the officials who made and advised on the decision not to recall the flights in transition and instead to transfer detainees out of U.S. custody on March 15th and 16th, 2025, which is the only remaining information necessary for this court to proceed with its referral. If the court believes any further information is needed for that purpose, defendants respectfully request an opportunity to provide that information to the court by way of declarations in the first instance, as even plaintiffs agree is appropriate. Defendants object to the involvement of plaintiffs in these collateral proceedings. Because criminal contempt concerns the dignity of the court, it no longer involves the original litigants as the parties of interest, and plaintiffs thus lack standing to participate as anything other than fact witnesses. See Ramos Cullen versus U.S. Attorney for District of Puerto Rico. They give a case number. They also have Jones versus Clinton. They use United States v. Concord Management and Consulting, LLC. Geez, I got 3 examples. They're like, dude, we got examples all over the place there, Boasberg. It would be inappropriate for an interested party to essentially be conducting a criminal investigation on behalf of the court. And that's 100% right. They have no business being there. So, again, interesting. Loving this stuff. Again, it's just watching all of this be tested. Our founding fathers are being tested, and it seems to be working out reasonably well, in the big picture anyway. Supreme Court punts on a Copyright Office director's firing. They've got 2 other cases that they're going to be seeing a little later this year, and so they kick this one till after those occur because they're all related to Trump firing, like Lisa Cook. Also, the Federal Trade Commissioner, Rebecca Slaughter. Those 2 cases are going to happen beforehand. So the Supreme Court's like, we'll worry about this Copyright Office individual after that, and we'll just wrap them all up. But if we decide that, that Trump either can or can't fire people within his administration, and then it won't matter. It'll be a moot point. Here's a little bit of the Scott Bessem thing where he talks about the best money he ever spent. And again, people are accusing him of donating to Democrats and all that kind of nonsense, that he was actually a Democrat at one point. There's a bunch of nonsense crap stories that are out about this. And again, that's one of the things I highly recommend with people. Pay attention to the sources of stories. You'll find in a lot of cases they're coming from if it's coming from Axios or Politico, it's almost guaranteed to be wrong. Almost guaranteed. But there is a number of other rags that make weird accusations or spin. ABC is famous for this. They just spin stuff in very weird ways or ask questions that imply things but aren't correct. So there's a lot of that. All that said, Scott Bessent talks about what he's donated to and some of the best money he ever spent figuring out the bigger picture. I love this dude. I wanted to give him a little bit of a spotlight. This guy, Alex Marlowe, did a pretty good job interviewing him.
Also. So you touched on something that's really essential, I think, for our audience in particular, which is that you're a very, very sharp fit with President Trump. Like, it fits. We saw this very early on when you were out there and were in consideration. This is the perfect match. But that might not have always been the case, or maybe it always was. You've got this amazing history where you had humble beginnings, became a Wall Street wunderkind, and had a sort of meteoric rise. And then you were a Democrat for a long time, and I think even in support of Hillary Clinton, if I remember. And then there's had to be a day where you woke up and think Trump is for real. Can you take us back to when that was and when it dawned on you that you guys are completely simpatico on these issues?
So Alex, this is a good opportunity to clarify the record.
Please,
because
please.
I think we can scratch out some New York Times talking points.
Yeah, let's do that.
Never a Democrat. Over the years, I would say I've donated $15 million to Republicans, maybe $300,000 or $400,000 to Democrats.
Wow.
Total. One notable was in 2000, I held a fundraiser for Al Gore.
Okay.
But you got to remember, back in 2000, Al Gore and George W. Bush were just like that.
Sure.
The two parties weren't like that.
Yes, it's true.
And I actually think it's more. The Republicans were here, and the Democrats have just fallen off the left side of the page. So, and look, it might have been a very different world in terms of Iraq, Afghanistan, the endless wars. But I thought President Bush, on many things, did a good job.
Okay.
Someone said, "Oh, well, you donated to President Obama." During the primaries, I think I gave $1,500 because I disliked Hillary Clinton so much.
That's amazing.
And then I gave the money to something called Ready for Hillary.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to go and sit in the room and hear what they had to say. And I walked out of that meeting and I said, they're going to lose. That's when Harold Ickes Jr. had this meeting in New York with a bunch of financial people. And that was the best research money I ever spent.
Yeah, it's awesome. He totally, I mean, calls it out, calls it all. It's like, this is what I've done. Being authentic, being honest, it matters a lot. So here is MS Now. Now they're MS. Multiple sclerosis is what they are, more likely. But anyway, they got caught. They got caught. Many are wondering if this was intentional. I think it was. But here it is.
New breaking news. MS Now has just learned that FBI Director Kash Patel may be out of a job in the coming months. 3 people with knowledge of the situation say President Trump and his top aides have grown tired of Patel and the unflattering headlines he's been generating recently, including using a government jet to visit his girlfriend and enlisting a SWAT team as her security detail. Joining us, MS Now Justice and Intelligence reporter Ken Delanian and MS Now White House reporter Laura Barone Lopez. Both of them broke this story along with Carol Leonnig. Ken, give me more.
Yeah, exactly. Bunch of crap. Bunch of nonsense. I like that now part, though. It cracks me up. It's MS, multiple sclerosis. Now, we used to have this company that did support. A lot of you guys maybe have worked with them. They're called ServiceNow. I'm not trying to besmirch them in any way, shape, or form, but I just found the way our service tended to work, that it wasn't really a now thing. They call it SNOW, ServiceNow. I used to call it 7, Service Eventually. Anyway, they didn't like it when I said that, which I thought was funny as hell. All said, Carolyn Levitt posted this. She goes, "This story is completely made up. In fact, when this fake news published, I was in the Oval Office where President Trump was meeting with his law enforcement team, including FBI Director Kash Patel. I read the headline to President and he laughed. He said, 'What? That's totally false. Come on, Kash. Let's take a picture to show them you're doing a great job. Do not believe the fake news.'" Kash this is great. He's doing his job, people. He's doing his job. Doge is still at work. The U.S. starts fiscal 2025 with record budget deficit, shocking interest expense. Yeah, that's why they want to lower the interest rates so badly, which I don't think Powell's going to do. I don't know. I don't think he's supposed to. He was supposed to, but there's questions about whether he will. I didn't think he was going to do the ones. I didn't think he could. I think he ultimately has to screw Trump as hard as he can. He's still working for the deep state. And ultimately, we got to be able to blame the Fed. Guys, that has to be part of this. Has to. And the overall public, the sheeple, are going to have to understand that, yeah, the Fed screwed us. Now, the Trump derangement syndrome people will never believe anything, but the majority of the people that aren't retarded will. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Japan, they might be very well the spinning top that's going to bring down the big picture. They've been really in a tough place for a long time. There was hope that kind of the stuff going on with Trump and everything is going to help, but they're also this thing with China, weapons spending, their debt to GDP ratio is 250%, which is insane. They hold $1.2 trillion in U.S. treasuries. That anchor may be slipping. And yeah, so these yields on these bonds, with the yen falling and everything else, they might actually kind of try to cash in a bunch of those. And that would actually be that would be hard on us, right, on the dollar. So this might be a weird spiral. And again, this is part of the big picture. And that has to happen at some point. This will take down the deep state. When the crash happens, it will happen massively. It'll happen across the world. The countries that are most prepared are going to be the ones that have gotten a lot of the immigrants taken care of, at least not letting more of them in. They're going to be actually doing some sort of asset-backed currency to a degree. They're also going to be looking at what are they manufacturing, and that's going to be your worth. So the countries that get that are going to fare better than the countries that don't. And unfortunately, there's a number of those, especially in Europe. Really bad. So we'll see. We'll see. We're getting closer and closer. Don't know exactly when, but it's coming. Stocks hit session highs on report that Hassett is going to be Trump's next Fed chair pick. I think they're making shit up. Stocks go up, and they're like, what'd somebody say? Okay, that's got to be it. So-and-so said blue's his favorite color. It's just stupid. None of this shit makes sense. Poly Market, cool, good for them. For those of you who don't know who they are, they're this new group that basically bets on political stuff. And, the House always wants to win. Usually they're going to do their best to research things and be as accurate as possible, but I've seen their numbers vary wildly over short periods of time because certain facts came out that were probably always facts, just not known yet, right? So, again, it is what it is. I don't trust a lot of this betting crap. I got better things to do than, I got better places to spend money than on that. That's for damn sure. So apparently Texas becomes the first state to buy Bitcoin for its strategic reserve. I'm not sure if this number here is accurate because it doesn't seem like very much, if that's true. But supposedly they're acquiring $5 million worth of Bitcoin at roughly $87,000 per Bitcoin. So that's not a lot of them, I guess, but they're going to get some Bitcoins. So, all right, Texas is spending $5 million. Might make some people happy. Crypto actually had a big rebound today, by the way, which is cool. So a lot of you guys that are cryptoing. Gold and silver are doing, silver's doing super good. Damn. It's scary when it moves like that, by the way, folks. It's generally not a good thing. I think some of that might tie to that Tokyo news. Damn, $2.74 for silver today. Gold's only up $57. That's reasonable. Silver's up a bunch, 5%. So that's interesting. Hopefully you guys already got hooked up with my good friends at Goldco. Hopefully you did. Oh yeah, crypto. Where are we at with them? Oh, Bitcoin's down a little bit now? Nah, it can't be. Really? Yeah, it was like way up at one point. So strange. So yeah, 87 plus right now. Ethereum's been doing well the past couple days, or at least holding flat, it seems. I don't know why. XRP's been up, down. I don't know. We'll see. Honestly, crypto makes very little sense to me. I know a lot of you guys love it. Some of you guys don't, like me. I get it. You know what? By the way, dead cows don't fart. It's not technically true. They still have gases that are produced inside of them even after death, and they can't pop. Like whales. You ever heard of a whale beaching and then explodes because someone did something and touched it? And yeah, it's got gases inside of it. It's methane for the most part. It's not good. Very funny picture here. I don't know if it's just perfect where the cow's at or if they worked that in. But yeah, there's this new Bovaer. It's a chemical they've been giving cows so they'd fart less. And it actually affects the way they digest. Well, it's killing cows. So a lot of these people are like, yeah, I'm not going to give this to my cows anymore. And they're like, well, you have to. And they're like, it kills my cows. No, I'm not going to. Good luck with that one in court. You have to kill your cows. No. Brazil's Supreme Court, I talked about it yesterday, but they mandated former President Jair Bolsonaro to begin serving his 27-year prison sentence today. So I think it was as of yesterday. Foreigners, where is this? In Italy, I believe. Foreigners commit 44% of sexual violence cases in Italy, half of gang rapes, and while only representing 9% of the population. By the way, 9% of the population is a lot. That's a big number. This is, again, infiltration. It's happening all over the place. British budget leaks have caused an uproar in Parliament. Ooh, they've gotten their wigs in a frump.
In the British Parliament. It comes after the budget forecast was leaked. The Office for Budget Responsibility apologized, but the controversy continues. The budget forecast was published before the finance minister delivered it to the Parliament, an unprecedented error for the annual event. The leak basically laid out the measures of a crucial tax-raising budget ahead of the official statement. Prime Minister Keir Starmer said questions about the leak were a matter for an independent watchdog.
It is my understanding that the Office of Budget Responsibility's Economic and Financial Outlook was released on their website before this statement. This is deeply disappointing and a serious error on their part. The Office for Budget Responsibility have already made a statement taking full responsibility for their breach.
But wait, how's that even possible when you've got it in that box? How could it possibly get out? That's stupid. Anyway, Brit friend, really? This is, what, the fucking lunchbox? Is that Ralph Lauren? What is it? It looks like a little polo player on the front. What the shit is that? That's, gentlemen, please. 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 You've got to be angry. How can you not be? A looming Mexican coup. There's a big question about whether or not Claudia Sheinbaum is being pushed out. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with her. Sheinbaum is an interesting last name, is all I can say for someone that's supposed to be Hispanic or from Mexico. Obviously, she married into a different family. Yeah, people don't like her. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. She's supposed to be in bed with the cartels, we understand. That might not be working well for the changes that are occurring in the world right now. Again, how that plays out is kind of a tricky part of all this. TWC.health, the wellness company, by the way. TWC.health/OTF. TWC.health/OTF. These guys have some awesome products. Best way to kind of come at it from is by Goal. Anti-aging, appetite control. They've got some really good stuff in there. Drop, or is it Drop? I think it's Drop. Yeah, Drop is the one that's like kind of covers it all. That one's really good. That actually helps with just losing weight, speeding up your metabolism. I mean, it's like it's the easy way to go, I guess. If you're going to try easy way to lose weight, again, if you got diabetes problems, I highly recommend the Unicity stuff. But all said, if you want to drop weight and you got no other real issues, that Drop stuff is working really well for people. And if you just put a couple drops in water or your tongue or wherever the hell, and then your weight, you're on your way. You're on your way. So that's a good one. Again, cleanse and detox. They've also got the ultimate spike detox for that matter too. Hormones and sexual health. I got like the Tadalafil and stuff like that. Heart health, immune support, spike collection, which is, like I said, the ultimate spike detox. If you rolled up your sleeve or know somebody that did, that'll get those spikes out of you. That'll wash them right the hell out. Spike collection, new products. Those are always different things. The ivermectin collection, though, that's where Parasite Cleanse. They got a Black Friday thing going on too right now, so you really want to take advantage of it. You should at least check out some of the stuff they've got. But the ivermectin collection is incredible. One, skin cancers and stuff like that, they've got the ivermectin cream, and then people are seeing some really, really cool results with that. Also, from the standpoint of parasites, oh my Lord, the things that I've experienced with my own journey with this, this is my second round. I'm still half full, and I've kind of gotten a little slower. I hit it really, really hard on the first go. And there's a lot of these little like red, what look like freckles, if you will. Those aren't freckles because they all went to dark color after my parasite cleanse. So, guys, we have parasites in us like crazy. And that's disgusting. Yeah, you'd be surprised some of the things that'll happen. You'll be surprised how you'll be able to shed weight a lot easier. You'll probably have a couple moments in the restroom that will surprise you. It's an experience, and you will be knowing for sure that you're seeing changes in your life. TWC.health/OTF, TWC.health/OTF. Recharge, like your mental clarity and all that. If you always feel like your head's in a fog, this has got that methylene blue, and it's got two other awesome ingredients that really help boost your acuity and your intelligence. It'll make you the best Jeopardy player ever. And you watch. Methylene blue. It's got that kind of power. They've also got a TheraBlue. It's a new pain gel that people are friggin' raving about. So you get pains, you get sore muscles, stuff like that. This is actually a very, very good way to go about it as well. So many great products. Again, doctors can be involved, or are in some cases, or many cases for that matter. There's memberships too. So if you plan on coming back month after month, you're going to be getting, like Tadalafil, you want to get month after month or whatever, get some of these memberships. These memberships actually save you money over time, and they give you access to physicians and stuff like that at a far reduced price compared to other things. They're very cool. You can look at the different choices. Just choose all memberships to look. But you will notice, you'll notice some pretty cool stuff that will save you money in the big picture, because you're going to obviously come back and replenish or whatever. So make sure you're aware of those things. Once again, go to twc.health/OTF. That's twc.health/OTF. Make that healthy step for you. And most of this stuff too, by the way, you want the medical kits. The kits are incredible. And you've got they've got the contagion kit, which has like all the antiviral stuff. But when you're prepared for whatever they throw at you, you don't worry about it anymore. That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. It's that insurance policy that you have in your possession that you will be okay if they throw some sort of weird flu shot out this year, which, by the way, I think this year they did a funky one. Also, twc.health/OTF. You're going to be stoked that you made those choices. Trump defends Witkoff's call. Says that's what a deal maker does, man. That's what happens, yo. We'll play this part out because it's kind of good stuff. What's going on with the Ukraine war. Big deal.
And President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump left the White House last night to travel to Florida, where they plan to spend the Thanksgiving holiday. Kremlin aide Uri Ushakova confirmed today that presidential envoy Steve Witkoff is set to visit Moscow next week to meet President Vladimir Putin. Ushakov also addressed a leaked October phone call between Witkoff and himself. Witkoff reportedly gave advice for Putin on how to pitch a peace plan to President Trump during the call.
To hinder us. It's unlikely this is being done to improve relations, which are being built difficultly, built through this sort of contact, including on the phone. Regarding Witkoff, I can say that a tentative agreement is reached that he will come to Moscow next week.
The transcript was published yesterday by Bloomberg News. It shows Witkoff suggesting that Putin congratulate Trump on the Gaza peace deal and highlight Russia's support. He said Putin should also say he respects Trump as a man of peace. Ushakov did not dispute the authenticity of the transcript, but said some content was, quote, fake, and declined to comment further due to confidentiality. Trump said yesterday the proposal to end the war in Ukraine has been, quote, fine-tuned, and emphasized Witkoff's upcoming trip to Moscow.
So again, there's a lot of stuff being leaked, intentionally trying to sabotage the peace. And the best argument they got right now is Ukraine's going to have to give up territory. Ukraine is losing the war. Kremlin aide sees Washington infighting behind the leak. Somebody could be scheming against President Trump. Special envoy Steve Witkoff, Yuri Ushakov has suggested. Almost for sure, anything that the Ukrainians have been finding out, they've been leaking. Anything that the Europeans have been finding out, they've been leaking. That is why Trump has been leaving them the hell out. GOP lawmakers a little pissed. We've got McConnell and Chris Wicker, Republican from Mississippi. Again, people that we should be getting rid of. Mitch McConnell. These are the ones that are all pissed off. They're the Senate Appropriations Subcommittee on Defense. And they're upset because Trump is likely requiring Ukraine to cede its territory. And I would say, Mitch and Roger, what else can we do? We're not going to win this war. Running out of Ukrainians, and frankly, running out of weapons. We are not from this one country because they don't have our full arsenal. We would have the option to be like, dude, you keep hitting me like this, we're going to go nuclear, Holmes. Come on, stop it. But I think we've learned a lot, obviously. We can't manufacture weapons quick enough. J.D. Vance, well, calling some of these doucheholes out. Posted this. After 4 years of house prices doubling, and in some areas tripling, many young people feel priced out of the American dream of home ownership. A welfare fraud scandal in Minnesota reveals that large numbers of new arrivals aren't assimilating and are funneling our tax dollars to literal terrorist groups. An innocent woman was set on fire in Chicago as the mayor resists federal law enforcement resources to bring peace to one of our greatest cities. The Obamacare insurance system is buckling under its own weight, and the country is $38 trillion in debt. Our administration is working hard on addressing all of these problems. But you know what really fires up the Beltway GOP? Not any of the above. Instead, the political class is really angry that the Trump administration may finally bring a 4-year conflict in Eastern Europe to a close. I'm not even talking about the substance of their views. Much of what these people have said about the Ukraine war has been proven wrong, but whatever. We can agree to disagree. But the level of passion over this one issue, when your own country has serious problems, is bonkers. It disgusts me. Show some passion for your own country. It's because these guys are making money on this. He's calling them out on the legitimate way to call them out because he can't just be like, you all are making money on this. I've seen the files. Can't say that. Trump snubs Zelensky's urgent meeting request. Zelensky's like, we need to meet with you, President Trump, immediately before this Thursday timeline. And Trump's like, Witkoff is talking to Russia, and Dan Driscoll, a.k.a., I believe this is Raising Cane, I believe, isn't it? Secretary of the Army, Dan Driscoll, isn't that Raising Cane? I think so. If not, whatever, Dan Driscoll. And from what we understand, Driscoll's putting it in pretty simple terms. You have no chance of winning this war at all. I think I've got that here. U.S. Army Secretary warned Ukraine of imminent defeat while pushing initial peace plan. U.S. Army Secretary Dan Driscoll warned Ukrainian officials in Kyiv that their forces face imminent defeat and urged them to accept a U.S.-backed peace plan that Kyiv saw as heavily favoring Russia. Driscoll told them Russia's military advantage was growing and the U.S. could no longer supply weapons at the needed pace. Period. Can't do it. Sorry. We don't got it. We don't got it in us. And right now, Europe is trying to get them to stop. Europe's trying, no, keep fighting. We've got this. And no, they don't. They don't have the weapons nor the ability to create them. They'd be out of weapons in 2 days. And then Europe would have no weapons to defend themselves. So nobody's listening to them. Everybody understands the key thing. What's America say? Because America's the ones with the money. America's the ones with the actual military. Europe doesn't have shit. NATO doesn't have shit. It's 100% what is Trump doing? What's Putin doing? Because Ukraine doesn't matter either, frankly. Let's try to be as fair as we can and see if we can get them to agree to it. That's where it's at. Russia's got to agree with it. We essentially need to agree with it. Well, and Ukraine's going to have to agree to it. They have no choice. The EU's humiliation in Geneva. No influence, no voice, no plan. They were trying to make it sound like they had a separate path that they were pushing. Oh, our plan. Trump is going to check it out. And Trump's like, no, there's no other plan. Rubio, there's no other plan. There's the U.S. plan, and that's it. Nobody cares what Europe thinks. I don't give a shit. And that's what's become very apparent to Europe and NATO, for that matter. We don't care what you think when it comes to this. You obviously aren't going to win this war. You can't. And it's stupid that people are going to continue to die because you guys are just dicks. You want to have this proxy war with Russia because you hate Russia so much, Europe. And Europe does. They historically hate Russia. Russia's never really gone along with everybody else's thing. They've done their own thing. And they don't like it. They got a huge amount of land that they've constantly wanted to get some of. They think Russia's got too much land. Again, it's just the problem that Europe's got. Taiwan plans $40 billion in defense spending to counter China. It's going to piss China off, especially if they get these weapons from us. We'll see what happens. Huge fire consumes Hong Kong residential high-rise. Death toll is actually way over 13 right now, but this is phenomenal. First off, I just want to point out, everybody talks about how fantastic China is and how incredible their abilities to build things are. They can, but they don't build safety equipment into them. None of these things has fire sprinklers. If they did, this would not have happened. Literally multiple buildings are heavily on fire. This should never happen. It wouldn't in America. In China? Yeah. In China, they build bridges, and 6 months later, they come crumbling down. Again, yeah, they might be able to make 500 ships, but how many of them are actually not going to start sinking once they get out in the middle of the big ocean and a big storm comes through or something happens? So, again, their abilities to steal technology and try to make it their own, it's pretty good. Their ability to create anything new, I mean, with the exception of one story I got today, generally not very good. No offense to them. Strange because they did invent gunpowder. And here we are. Now they steal from everybody. They've gotten lazy. I don't say that against my Chinese friends, but yeah. 36 are dead so far that we know of, as of the time of going live here, or recording anyways. Injuring 29. Firefighters are involved in this. It's just spread supposedly from these, what do they call it when they got the things on the side? The scaffolding. I guess this was bamboo and bamboo and I don't know, leaves or something stupid. Whatever the case was, very, very flammable. And this is what supposedly started these fires, which is also not good. Yeah, it's just ferocious. It's horrible. Yeah, it's horrible. It's very sad. People lost lives. I mean, again, anyway. World's strongest woman. Organizers revoke winning the winner's title after discovering he's a man, baby. Really? You weren't sure? Look at that. Look at that. Look at the size of those shoulders. Look at the size of those relative to the head. That's always a big giveaway. How many heads can you fit next to it before you even get to the shoulders? And for a man, it's usually more than 2 heads. Woman, like a third of one more head generally, and they're going to find their shoulders. It's just proportions. Yeah, this is a dude's body for sure. Needless to say, it's they took away their title, which is good. It's not fair. This Genesis mission, it's exciting. People, I guess, need to maybe get behind how big a deal this executive order is. But they're shifting away from nuclear to state-backed AGI or automated, I think a lot of this automated AI type stuff. Automated, what's the G? I forget the G. I apologize for that. But yeah, we're moving progress. Oops. So, yeah, Trump is talking about the Genesis mission, how it's going to bring together our nation's research and development resources, combining the efforts of brilliant American scientists, including those at our national laboratories, with pioneering American businesses, world-renowned universities, and existing research infrastructure, data repositories, production plants, and national security sites to achieve dramatic acceleration in AI development and its utilization. One thing that's funny is, one thing this does allow them to do, just to call out the possibility of some of the negative, is instead of humans knowing, like, for example, some of the physics that they hide from us, the real physics, instead of us as humans knowing it, you can teach AI, and then AI might actually be able to connect some dots that you don't need to actually read people in on the knowledge anymore, right? So it can, to a large extent, cause us to stay or create this level of stupidity, this level that, AI does it all and then we just can't anymore because we're too stupid. They already find that people that use ChatGPT on a regular basis are already less capable than they were. And it's just, we're talking within weeks. Within weeks, people are losing their abilities to research stuff, figure things out, think critically. It's getting crazy. Needless to say, it is what it is. And we've got, I think this is the video of that the government put out, that Trump put out, regarding this Genesis project.
In every age, humanity invents new ways to see further. The telescope let us glimpse the stars. The microscope revealed the worlds within us. For centuries, thinkers like Leibniz, Shannon, and Turing dreamed of making all knowledge computable. But today, knowledge grows faster than our ability to understand it. Trillions of data points, a universe of information still unconnected. Now, a new instrument emerges, one capable not only of observing the universe, but of understanding it. Genesis mission will transform how science is done in America, uniting our brightest minds, most powerful computers, and vast scientific data into one living system for discovery. Built on artificial intelligence and quantum computing, it will radically redefine the scale, speed, and purpose of scientific progress in America. This is the work that will define our generation's legacy. A new revolution begins, one guided not by competition alone, but by curiosity, imagination, and the belief that discovery is the truest form of progress.
Yeah, I have huge trust problems, so trust in the government, especially these people. But whatever, Trump's behind it, so I'm gonna, try to be a little more open to it. We'll see. May not believe it. We'll find out. Apparently, South Korea launched its first homegrown Nuri rocket, deployed 13 satellites into orbit.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
How many ha-has did they do? That was a lot.
네, 드디어 누리호가 멋지게 밤하늘을 가르며 하늘을 올라가고 있습니다.
너무 소름이
멋지지 않습니까?
이 진동.
네, 진동이
와, 이 배는.
와, 너무 멋집니다.
누리호 진짜
멋진 엔진 연소를 시작했고 일단 엔진의 멋진 힘과 함께 우주로 날아올랐습니다. 지금 이곳 스튜디오 현장에는 누리호 1단 엔진의 강력한 힘과 진동, 소음, 떨림이 느껴지고 있습니다.
네, 이번 제가 소속되어 있는 저희 하나 에어로스페이스가 체계 정황을 맡아서 정말 발사 전까지 정말 손에 땀이 나고 너무 긴장이 되는데요.
네, 지금
Damn, that one chick sounds like she's having an orgasm. That was wow. I don't know if they what happens here, but did it land itself? Anyway, that was beautiful. They are excited. They were super excited. Largest bodies of water in our solar system, just in case you give a crap. Found some fun stuff today. This is into ice and water. So this one's ice up here. Ganymede is the biggest. Its ice sheets are about 8.48 billion kilometers, I think it is. 8.4 billion kilometers. And then Ganymede is 11.4, I think, billion kilometers worth of water. And then outside of that, Earth's ocean's 1.38 billion, or 1.3 billion kilometers. The B looks like an 8, that's why I keep doing that. Versus 11.4 in Ganymede. So huge, way more water than we have on our planet. Europa, another moon. These are a bunch of the moons around Jupiter for the most part. I think Saturn and Jupiter. But yeah, Jupiter's fourth largest moon. It's got 2.8 billion kilometers, almost double what we have, more than double. So again, I don't know. Interesting stuff. Ice on Earth, where is that? They don't even give. They just give our water. Where's our ice? Is that maybe the 0.24 billion? Hard to tell. Oh, that's freshwater surface. I see. Groundwater. Okay. Yeah, so that's what it is. That's all Earth right there. Anyway, good stuff. Finally, last story. China deploys world's first commercial supercritical CO2 power generator. Long story short, they figured out how to take CO2, get it to a supercritical temperature, and use it as like a steam turbine, but instead of steam would be water. This is actually CO2, so supercritical CO2. It almost becomes a liquid at super high temperature, super high pressure, mainly the high pressure, and then you can get it to extraordinarily high temperatures. So they're using that to create a whoosh, if you will. Steam would be a wrong way to say it, but pressure, but it's CO2, so that's like gas, well, typically. Yeah, whatever. They're using this too for steel, by the way. The production of steel creates huge amount of temperature, and just to heat all that stuff up, you've got to, one, create cooling systems for it, but then two, on top of that, you might as well do something with all that heat and that dissipation of heat. So, yeah, turning it into energy to power the factory and power the local grid is just smart. It's like good use of it. It's kind of like when people talk about the gas engine. We've been using the same gas-powered engine for a long time. We've made a lot of refinements to it as far as horsepower, torque, and great stuff like that, and supercharging and all that, yay. And it can spin super duper fast. But it still gives off a bunch of heat. It's still extraordinarily inefficient use of the fuel. That's what's kind of a trip. So again, this is trying to make the use of fuels more efficient, if you will, by capturing that heat. It's one thing we don't do on engines. A lot of heat is dissipated from the engine to the hood, right? You just put your hand on the hood after you've been driving for a while and it's warm to the touch. That's wasted energy. That's what that is. There's obviously places we could maximize that energy. All said, a lot going on in the world, guys. I love it. Again, great music show coming up. I hope you guys will join me for that. Thursday, tomorrow, which is tomorrow, I might not do a show. We'll see. I could use a day off, frankly, and I might actually take Thanksgiving off. I love you guys. We're going to definitely do a video Friday, and definitely we'll do the music show Friday. I might make one Thursday. We'll see. It'll be hard for me not to. Like, I'll just tell you the truth. I really get weird. Like today, I'm getting done slightly early, and I'm like, what am I going to do for an hour? Like, I'm retarded. So we'll see. Hopefully, I can just maybe play a video game or something for a couple hours and just enjoy that and just be stupid for a while. So I love you guys. I'm gonna try my best to do that. But yeah, if you see a video tomorrow, then you know. If not, no Lav 1 tomorrow. We'll get back to that next week. That's been a nice break this week too. So I appreciate you guys giving me that day off. I love you guys. Where we go one, we freaking go all, baby. It's on the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle.